Alright, yeah, just shut the door and then. Hey, Miss Cannon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are
My
you?
card.
Let me just.
Thank you. Alright, so how are you feeling?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing okay. So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to get this going?
Yes.
Alright, so obviously you're here to apply for the district attorney position. Let me just start out. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I immigrated here from India when I was 7 years old. So predominantly my childhood and my early adulthood right now, like I grew up in America. But I have had a lot of diversity in my life just because of my family background, and I just want to make an impact any way that I can, and this is the field that I choose.
Gotcha. Well, I think it's going to be a good fit for you. Why do you think you want this job? I mean, what's your biggest reasoning?
My biggest reason is that currently in the news we really do see like how people are treated and like how justice is not really prevailed, and I really do want to make sure that even though I'm at the prosecuting end, I do my job right and like the right person is convicted for whatever reason that they're being convicted for.
Yes, of course. And do you have any accomplishments that you're particularly proud of?
This might be like a small achievement, but I do have a physical disability, so I've like started things later in my life, just because safety issues. But I did decide to like go places by myself and experience new experiences. So that just means that I get to network more with people because I'm being introduced to more people since I'm more comfortable with driving. So that's what I feel most accomplished about, since it was just last week when I started doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So why would you rather be a prosecutor over a public defender?
Generally, I would be a prosecutor because a prosecutor's job is like you have to do a bit of investigation and research on like what the circumstances were you were involved in, looking at the evidence to see what fits and what doesn't fit, so we can find out if the person that I am against is actually like guilty or not. So it's just very important to make sure that the right person is being convicted.
Yeah, of course. Do you have any political ambitions?
Yes, I do. Like eventually, if I go further on in my career, I would like to be in a position where I am able to have an influence, and like especially for diverse people, people who are not like the majority in this country, just to make sure that they are well represented and nothing that unjust happens.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Can you describe to me a time whenever you persuaded another person to change his or her way of thinking about a case or a conviction or anything?
Yes, there were instances where me and my fellow prosecutors didn't agree on a case situation. I just can't give you the details because of legal issues. We did try to find a middle ground, but sometimes if we can't agree to them, sometimes we need to accommodate if their opinions don't really impact the case in a negative way. So sometimes we did find a middle ground, but other times I did agree with them because sometimes they had a better idea, or like their idea doesn't impact the case in a negative way.
Oh, okay. And also, can you tell me about how you worked effectively under pressure?
Yes. Currently, when I was in law school, I had to work with groups, and their personality types were completely different from mine. I'm a type A personality, so if I had assignments or mock interviews that we had to do, I would have it done a week in advance, or it would be significantly earlier than near to the due date. But my group experience really helped me that you should really trust your group members and that they will do their part of the work, and it will be done before the due date is up.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Can you name a time when your patience was tested?
Probably when like you want your results like if like the DNA is being tested or evidence is being tested and you're on a time crunch. It was very stressful in that situation, and we really had to work with the forensics part of the law process, and that was when my patients was tested. But eventually we did get those results back, and we were able to go along with our case.
Yeah. So how did you? How did you manage to keep your emotions under control and not, freak out on somebody?
Usually I just had to practice breathing methods or yoga, because my thing is that if I don't get anything done, I'm really on like a high stress situation. I'm very impatient, so like breathing exercises or just reviewing case files or like looking ahead is really like how can you like take your time and just make the best of it. So time management skills rather than stressing. I would rather spend my time doing something that will help take the case further and improve it, and just to make myself feel like at ease.
Gotcha. Now, obviously, everybody has their own morals and values and their beliefs, ethics, if you will. But can you give me an example of when those were tested? You had to kind of either tweak maybe a little bit of your moral standards or something like that?
Sometimes, like, a law is, when you look at law, it's not really like what's legal is not always what's right. But generally, when I have my cases, I make sure that every process is followed in a correct way rather than illegal, because even if you take it to court, it's not going to be accepted. And when we have people who come to us saying things that are not right, sometimes we do have to present it in a way that is legal, but we do have to deal with it with a group situation, so it's presented in a way that will be accepted rather than not.
Okay. This is kind of a little fun question, but if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be and why?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I would be an oak tree just because I view the oak tree as somebody who has like a stronghold, is quite powerful, and looks out for other people, whereas because I'm the kind of person who will always look out for my team and for the people who I am like working for. So that's generally how I view myself as.
Gotcha. Well, honestly, that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything for me?
No, not really, but I did look through your company, and there was quite some insightful information. So in the future, I will look into further into your system if you do call me back.
We'll definitely take a look at everything that you just said and look at your resume, and we'll get back to you. It's a multiple step hiring process, but yeah, we'll let you know if we're interested in you.